today. So we're excited to be here, excited to continue to announce our school platform to help people get the heck out of California if they want to go.
Well, yep, here we are. Finally, we've been trying for months, so we don't want to keep beating a dead horse. So let's get started. I want to, Terry. The great thing is that we are coming up on our 7-year anniversary. Can you imagine, Terry? 7 years. Terry Gilliam has been working on this, and it's just crazy to me that Terry has shared this story so many times. If you haven't heard the story, he thought, I'm going to just put a little group together. Maybe I'll get 50 or 100 people that want to get out of California. And here we are coming up in September, guys. It'll be 7 years. And Terry, can you imagine? Like, did you ever think that it would be like this?
No, I knew of groups that had 20,000 members, and I was like, oh my gosh, how do they do that? And here we are. In this group, close to 200,000. In the Leaving California group, over 100,000. It's been amazing, but I think I struck a nerve. I didn't know a lot of people that weren't happy with the way things were going in California, but I wasn't happy with the cost of living, the politics, the crime, the homelessness. I wasn't happy with any of that. And I was like, am I the only one? So that's why I chose Facebook and went on there, and I think I was right. I think there's a lot of people who aren't happy with the way California's going. And Lord knows it continues to slide in the wrong direction. And by the way, both David, you and I both, we hope things turn around in California. We hope that they get their act together, that people stop electing people who all they want to do is raise taxes and regulation and let criminals out on the street and give homeless people a home. That's all they need is a home. It's not because they're drug addicted. It's not because they're mentally ill. It's just because they just need a home. If we give them a home, it's going to be Leave It to Beaver in their home. It's just going to be, a normal life, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Well, I tell you, guys, again, talking a little bit about the technical difficulties we've had and struggled to get this live event going. In a perfect world, we would be able to send all of you messages. So on Facebook, I just learned this from Terry about 4 years ago. I never knew. But when you have 200,000 members, Facebook gets to decide who gets the post. So we can't even decide to send our members a post or a reminder that we're going live. So we actually have a solution. And Terry brought up a couple of stories about the news. I've got a couple of little snippets because Terry and I love doing California news. Because there's just tons and tons of news that comes out of California. It's just crazy. But before we dive into this live video, I want to ask you a couple questions, Terry. I'm curious. What were some of the things along the way that surprised you, or tell me about the ride. I mean, you've been on this ride for 7 years.
The biggest surprise is that I really didn't know that many people. I lived in the Bay Area for 35 years. I didn't know that many people who felt like I did. And I worked in technology. 90% of them felt completely opposite. Oh, raise my taxes. I've got to pay my fair share. 50% of my income is still not my fair share. We've got to get rid of fossil fuels. Oh my goodness, fossil fuels are going to be the end of the planet. It's just crazy what goes on out there. And I've been gone. This month is 4 years, David. I've been gone. I've been back to Florida, my home state of Florida, 4 years. At the end of this month, May 31st is my 4-year anniversary of moving back. I couldn't be happier. It's hot today, but right outside my window is a big old air conditioner running full speed. It's about 78 degrees inside the house. I keep it nice and comfortable. Couldn't be happier. And I'm moving to another house. So I've already sold this house and moving to another one just to get a little bigger piece of land. I got these 3 dogs of mine and a little bigger piece of land so that they can play more in the backyard. And God is good. God is good.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up for 4 years ago, because that's exactly about the time that I got to meet you. I've become a very close friend. I consider Terry a great friend and a great business partner. I've been at this project for 4 years. He's been doing this for 7. And I think that he just really wanted to have a platform where people could share and exchange ideas. But now Terry, this has turned into a godsend. I mean, we get message after message after message thanking Terry, thanking the Leaving California groups for helping them to move. I don't know, Terry, in your wildest dreams, did you ever imagine that you would have a place where people could go and figure out how they could get all these resources and get out of California? I mean, this has turned into something completely different than what you thought.
Yeah, and the challenge we've had, David, is that the news feed is the news feed. Facebook with their algorithm, and they've been good to us with their algorithm. They decide what people see. The more people who comment and like, the more they show it to somebody. We have so many tools and resources available to people that we were really struggling with. How do we keep these tools where people can find them? And so that's why I'd like to get into our school platform. I'd like to talk about that, please. And tell people why we've got the school platform.
I do want to get into that, but I had a couple little snippets about news because I think that's it's funny. A lot of the posts, and guys, we love to help. So please keep the posts coming. Please let us know what you want more of and how we can be of more service to you. But the top posts are typically, what do I do with my stuff? I need to find a mover. That's something that's kind of in the back of your mind. It's not in the front. I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, I know I need to sell my house, and now I need to find a new realtor in a new city. That's in the forefront. But moving is one of the top. And then we get a lot of posts about people that are saying, I'm not sure where to go. So we have tons of resources. And just to remind you guys, I just said it, 7 years. Imagine, Terry has been compiling resources and information about how to move effectively and efficiently out of California for 7 years. But Terry, I just wanted to bring up a couple. I get such a kick out of these stories. Now, the big one that's crazy, and Terry, I know you watch California news way more than I do, but I watch it as well, is $8 gas prediction. I mean, what's going to happen when gas is really $8 a gallon in California?
Well, when I did my Epoch Times interview in 2022, I said California's eliminated the middle class. So if you increase gas prices by 50%, the middle class can't absorb that because they're not getting, I mean, a lot of them live 50, 60, 70, 80 miles from work because that's the only place they can afford a home. So you're driving 150 miles a day, 5 days a week. You've just by hundreds of dollars a month, maybe even $1,000 a month, increase the cost of gasoline. And it's interesting. The leftists who run California were like, we got to get rid of fossil fuels, got to get rid of fossil fuels, got to get rid of fossil fuels. Oh, $8 a gallon of gas. Oh, we need refineries. We need to take care of these refineries. We need more refineries. What do you mean you're leaving the state? I could have told you 10 years ago this was going to happen. In fact, I did tell people 10 years ago this was going to happen. So it's just the punishment. It's just their leftist ideology that thinks they're creating the greatest place in the world, and yet what they're really doing is destroying California, and they have been for years. And they don't care. Either they don't care, they don't see it, or they're incompetent, or they've got their millions. You know, when you go to Sacramento as a politician, you come back a multimillionaire. Funny how that works. Public servants become multimillionaires in California, and so they're just destroying the state. So, again, there won't be enough moving trucks if gas hits $8 a gallon.
Yeah, exactly.
$8 a gallon.
By the way, we kind of alluded to and we wanted to talk a little bit about the past in this journey, but I'm going to tell you guys something that you need to write down. You need to write this down. Calschool.com. That's CALSKOOL.com. Just go check it out. Trust me on this one. Think of it as a higher level of Facebook. This is a place where you can really get the resources you need. So if you are totally serious and you are going to be leaving, you have got to go check that out. That's CALSKOOL.com. We're going to get a little bit more into that in a little bit. But, we didn't talk a lot about the wildfires. We kind of avoided that. But, Terry, what a complete debacle that was, and I feel so bad. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a licensed realtor here in Southern Nevada. We had 100,000 people move to Las Vegas 2 years ago, and 42% of them were from California. So a lot of people choose Southern Nevada, and now I'm getting tons of clients that are they either were devastated by the fires, or they're just saying, I need a place to live, and there's no rentals available. Anything you want to add to the fire stuff? I mean, I'm not laughing at the fire. it was an absolute tragedy. But the way the way California handled it, and the way they handle everything, that's why I'm laughing.
Well,
Terry?
the thing about the fire, David, just like everything else that's happening in California, it was 100% avoidable. It was incompetence of government. Had nothing to do with global warming, climate change, all this other stuff. Look, climate change equals government incompetence. That's all you got to know. If they say climate change, that just means this is where we screwed up. So the climate. By the way, the climate's different in Florida today than it was yesterday. The climate changed. I don't know about California. I know it's usually 80 degrees, 365 days a year. Yeah. Oh wait, the climate changed.
Yeah.
So this is just nonsense. It's just nonsense. And the thing I'm thankful about, David, is people are waking up to this. It's just that those of us who know the real world understand that this has all been a bunch of baloney anyway. But let's move into the school. I don't want to keep waiting. I want to keep people waiting.
Well, I just had a couple more. I had a couple more real quick. The $12 billion budget deficit and Lake Tahoe, they got transgender policy drama because in California it's different than in Nevada. In Tahoe, they have a city that borders, and then the insurance premium. Oh my gosh, they're killing people with insurance. And then the last one that I had, Terry, is kind of music, or kind of near to your heart back then, but not now. Disneyland turns 70 years old. 70. And Terry Gilliam, that's a whole nother show, but Terry has some ties. He actually worked at Disney, and those were some of the happiest years of his life. And guys,
in Florida,
30, 40 years ago, California was an amazing, amazing place. So let's talk about the birth of the school communities. I got to be careful because if I get started, it's bad. But if I get Terry Gilliam started on the California news, look out. So go ahead, Terry. Tell them about I got the next thing on my list is the birth of the school communities. Go ahead.
David, let's bring up the school community. I don't want to keep people waiting. Let's bring up the school community and let's show people what we're doing here. Again, we have had challenges. We've got all these resources in the Facebook group, but when you're on your phone, it's hard to keep up with this stuff. So David's going to bring up our Leaving California Community School, where you have all sorts of resources, tools, resources, budget spreadsheet, moving checklist, how to move with elderly parents. What if your kids don't want to leave? If you can think of it, I believe we've thought of it, and we have a lot of resources here to allow people. This is the practical side of leaving California. When you're ready to start planning your move, this is the community you want to be in. The other side of it is that this is just the beginning. You want to move to Reno? We have a Moving to Reno community. You want to move to Las Vegas, where David's a realtor? You can go to the Moving to Las Vegas community. You want to move to Orlando? You can go to the Moving to Orlando community. Wow. We're building these things. We're adding more and more of these sites where you can get resources, find out the best places to live. I love David's Las Vegas community because he's got all these different neighborhoods that you can look at. Everyone's heard of Henderson, but there's a lot of places that I had never heard of. I didn't know that, Green, what's that called?
Green Valley.
Well, yeah, there's Henderson.
Green Valley.
Yeah, Green Valley. He's got all of this information so that you can, and the best part is that this is David's site. You can connect with David and he can walk you through all of these resources. And our goal here is to help you plan your move from soup to nuts, figure out where to go. We have that tool also where you can use AI and figure out the best place to move. It'll give you up to 10 choices. And then we can help you get connected to the right person and the right site, the right community to help you make that move.
Well, let me take a crack at it, Terry. And we have general discussion. So again, just think of this as a higher level of Facebook. Think of this as a way to communicate easier. Think of this as more resources than we can provide on Facebook, and it's a smaller community. And we have a lot more control in here, so we're not going to tolerate the negativity. I know a lot. That's one of the biggest complaints we get, and we're not happy.
We don't need the negativity. We just don't need it. There's no reason to come in here and complain about Newsom in here. This is how to practically get out of California.
Yeah, exactly. So we have the general discussion. We have all these tools, and again, guys, like I said, Terry's been working on putting these tools together for 7 years. We have a resources tab that talk about how to change your vehicle registration, how to get a new driver's license. It talks about all of the things that you might not have even thought about, and we want to make your California move efficiently and effectively. For those of you that don't know, about a year ago, Terry and I went on I think we drove about 2,000 miles all around the South. We went to the top migration cities, and we've got those in here. So if you're thinking about Pompano, if you're thinking about Tennessee, Franklin, Tennessee, Cobb County, Georgia, Myrtle Beach, we got all of these resources, just tons and tons. We also have a consultant that we have, Jeff. He's amazing. He will talk to you and help. He's already talked to, I think, a dozen people just from our sites, and we launched, I think, about a week ago. And he's already saved 12 people a ton of money on their move, and they're super happy about it. We've got videos. Terry and I have a library of videos about Leaving California news, about all kinds of stuff. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. Go to Leaving California YouTube channel. We've got announcements, and we've got testimonials. And then the really cool thing is that we have all these different cities where you can go in, and our goal is by the end of the summer, we'd like to have 100 different cities that we have a school for each community. And who knows? I mean, eventually we will have 300 to 500 different schools from around the country, and we are just getting the top and the best of the best realtors and lenders and partners. And by the way, I wanted to share with you on my Las Vegas community, here's another great feature. This is an added benefit. We have trusted vendors. So if you move to a new city and you wanted to find a painter or where's my trusted vendors? Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, I think she
Where did
rearranged
those trusted
that.
vendors go?
I will get that fixed. But is it not there?
I don't see it. It was there. I don't know what happened to it, but
Yeah,
but
I'm
we've
gonna
got
get
that. We're building those for each site, where you can find the plumber, the painter, the general contractor, the carpenter, the landscaper. All of those will be under the Trusted Associates tab. And again, some of these have just launched, and we haven't completed them yet. But and I'll tell you. Let me tell you quick how that happened. Sheila Garcia, who's our wonderful mortgage person, who moved from Sacramento to Tennessee. She went online, found a contractor who came out, and I think his name was Billy Bob. And boy, he blew it. He did an awful job, a disaster. And then she had to hire someone else to come out and tear down what Billy Bob built and correct it. And so now our realtor partners in each of these communities will have their own trusted associates that they know and respect. And so that when you move to a place and you want to get some work done, you'll know who to call.
Yeah, and like I said, you will. We just launched a week ago, so this is and that's the great thing about these school communities is that we're going to continue to upgrade them. We're going to continue to give you more resources, and we want you to. This is going to be an all-encompassing. Like if you're thinking about a hidden gem Italian restaurant because you like Italian food, you're going to be able to go in here and find some hidden gems that only the locals know about, or maybe some kind of activity or adventure in that city that maybe you wouldn't have ever thought of. And so we have ideas and suggestions. We're going to have events for our members. I mean, this is really, really going to be something special. We've been working on this for a long time. And we have new communities opening all the time. We're just going to continue to add cities. And by the way, I want to say a shout out to our realtors. I know that realtors is a very touchy subject. Some people have had bad experiences with realtors. Some people say that their realtor was amazing. I feel like when I work with my clients that I always try to exceed their expectations as a realtor. Whenever I mention realtors, sometimes people are, oh yeah, realtors. But we are looking for the cream of the crop. We have the best of the best realtors. We're not just taking anybody that says, yeah, I want to run. Matter of fact, I have Mike Wood. He's in Reno. He's like the top realtor in Reno. So people like that. Terry got Joshua Long in Dallas. He's one of the top realtors in Dallas. So we have in Orlando, Craig Blessing. I could go on and on about different realtors. These guys are amazing. So the reason I bring up realtors is because if you are a realtor and you're watching this video and you're like, well, you know what? I'd like to be the premier realtor for my city, and we haven't gotten a realtor for your city. just reach out to me. You know, you can reach out to me. It's easy to remember. Las Vegas at davidberryrealtor.com. That's my contact information, or you can just send me a private message. Our goal is to have 100 schools by the end of the summer. So if you're not in our school communities, it's really simple. So the calschool.com, calskool.com, my school is really simple. It's lvskool.com. So if you wanted to join my school, you would go to lvskool.com and join us and join each school that you're interested in. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the future. Our future plans, Terry, and what do our members have in store? We Terry and I probably talk. I would think we talk just about every single day. We're always exchanging ideas and thoughts. We've been talking about doing a Texas migration tour, and going and seeing the top migration cities in Texas. And Terry lives in Florida, so we want to do a Florida migration tour, and we're going to go to these different cities and interview people and show you what it's really like to live there. We're trying to make that happen by the end of the year. And what else do you? Any other thoughts about the future, Terry?
We're always looking for other opportunities, other partnerships, and in fact, well, yeah, other partnerships and other people, other ways that we can help you not only find the best way to get to your new location, but the most affordable way to get there. And each of our realtors are going to be organizing community events for our Leaving California community. So when in fact, Andrea in Weatherford, Texas, she regularly has a get-together of people who have moved from California so they can get together. I went to one event out there a couple of years ago. I think there were 60 people or so at that event. There's all sorts of ways. I can assure you the weather's not going to be the same unless you live if you live on the coast or coastal areas like I did in the Bay Area. You're not going to move somewhere and it's not going to be in July. It's probably not going to be 80 degrees with no humidity. But I can tell you that life is so much better outside of California as it sits right now. And my only advice is that if there's a chance Kamala Harris can be your next governor, I don't think there's going to be enough time to get out. So you might want to start doing your homework now. And we've set up these school communities so you can do your homework.
And
we're here to help.
So the future is very bright for us, and we've made it clear from at least since I've joined 4 years ago. We've made it very clear that we want to be your number one resource. We want to be the people or the company when someone says, "I'm thinking about leaving California." We want you to reach out to us. A lot of the services, a lot of the information, this is all free. Everything is free. I know there's a lot of subscription-based models to join communities out there. We just want to give you tons and tons of value. If you decide to use one of our vendors, that'd be great. We would love for you to do that. But we want to be the number one resource. And Terry and I talked about this a few times. Like, there's some other people that are doing similar things. I don't know, Terry, what did you see? You saw one that had 1,000 members. You saw one that had 1,200 members. I mean, we have 300,000 members. We're on our way to getting 500,000 members. There's nobody that's close to us, and we're just going to keep on being ahead of the game. And we're doing that for you, our members. So with that being said, and again, I apologize, because on a typical podcast, we would have there would be a way for you guys to do questions. We would have a Q&A session where you could ask questions. So what I would prefer, if you watch this video, if you watch the recorded version, and something pops up in your head and you have a question, please, it's really important for our channel and for us to grow. That engagement is very important, and Facebook looks at that. So if you have a comment or a question or something like that, please make sure to put it down in the comments, and we will get back to you. If you join these communities, it definitely makes it a lot easier. You will have direct access to me. You also get direct access to Terry, and you will definitely get direct access to the realtor that is managing these moving to cities. Boy, Terry, we covered a lot. So, leaving California is more than a trend. It's a transformation, and we're just getting started. I mean, we've been doing this for 7 years, but it really kind of does feel like we're just getting started, doesn't it, Terry?
It does. And David, I'm gonna have to sign off here. It's 8:30 here in Florida. I am moving tonight and tomorrow, so I'm gonna check out. So I'm gonna wish everyone the best. As David said, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions on ways to improve the site, we'd love to have your suggestions also. And we look forward to serving you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.